Hi, everyone. Currently watching Team Peace versus Team Kindness in the Credit One Invitational. Danielle Collins versus Amanda Anisimova. I haven't done one of these in a while. I think since the Australian Open, so I wanted to do another one since live tennis is happening again. So just wanted to give it a try again, see what happens. Anisimova. Hey, Yvcom. Thanks for joining the live stream. Hope you're doing well. That was a terrible backhand. I will tell Vivi you said hi. I have to lower this because there's no way it's going to go up if I leave it on. If you do follow tennis, I will say Charleston probably has one of the best stadiums of all time. Is that it? All right. Anisimova is going to be a top 10 player someday. Oh, wow. The way they handle the balls, it's crazy. I love it. And I dropped my pretzel. I dropped my pretzel. All donations and proceeds are going to, I think, first-line healthcare workers, which is great. I really need to do that more. So currently, Anisimova is winning 7-5 2-all. She's up on Collins' serve. Love 15. She's changing her racket already. Well done again. It's second set. I think that's smart. Hey, Gene. Hope you're doing well, man. This tournament has done it well with ball kids, safety issues, everything. Great job. Love dirty. Collins serving 2-all. Wow, we have a decent amount of people in here. Hi, guys. Anisimova just taking over the match. Of course I remember you. You're one of the first people to ever like any of my tweets. I really appreciate that. Anisimova breaks 3-2. Anisimova will be... What the heck is that on the camera? All right, commercial break. How are you guys staying busy during this quarantine? Because I am slowly losing my mind, folks. As you can tell, I shaved my head a while back. It's starting to grow in again, which is nice. Is that a bald spot? What the heck is that? Callus, like where the hairline grows in? Yeah, she hasn't been the same, but at the same time, she's been one of the better Americans that has been playing consistently. She won a WTA title last year, 2019, and she's a top 5 American player right now. So it's kind of, so she's been doing well in my opinion. I think she gets overlooked by Coco Gauff a lot. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, I definitely think it's an issue. Especially, yeah, she won Bogota. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Players like her get overlooked for going farther in majors and having a higher ranking. Plus, I don't think people know this, but she has spoken out on a lot of social issues really well, too, if I might add, on so many issues. Who's up next? So up next, we have Monica Puig versus Bethanie Mattek-Sands, too, in singles. Definitely need to change the thumbnail for that. See, this should have been the atmosphere for Djokovic's tournament. That is just a whole nother issue. What are your guys' thoughts on the Djokovic issue? Anisimova is a good reference. Honestly, she reminds me of Sharapova. Blonde hair, height, really good at such a young age. Anisimova, what a throwback. Remember when she was still playing? Thanks for the like, whoever just liked this video. I really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel and you just found my live stream, make sure to hit that sub button. We enjoy anyone's company. If you just want to chat, hang out, feel free. Currently trying to make a... What is this? What am I doing? Oh, yeah. Mattek-Sands, PNG. I really hope my computer does not crash from the amount of stuff that I have going on my computer. Oh, she broke her. Sponsored by Coke? Wonder if that's new. Clicking the right thing? Oh my god. Hello? Why did that work? That's weird. It's so weird how that did not work at all. How does Bethanie Mattek-Sands not have a good PNG photo? He definitely also has probably the most style on tour, I swear. But I think he could have listened and playing with no fans rather than listening to what the government allowed him to do. I think he just took advantage. To be honest, I think he just took advantage of it and said, why don't we just bring everyone together and kind of make it more entertaining for everyone? But he took way too much advantage of that freedom that I guess the government gave him, since the rules aren't really like that. But that still stuns me how you can have, like, what's wrong with this? Like, maybe because I love Charleston, I love watching people play on this court. Well, honestly, I'd rather watch this. Plus, the team aspect is so much more fun. Now, who the hell is that guy? I should have went down there for this. That would have been fun. No, with everything going on right now, when it comes to the Ultimate Tennis Showdown, yeah, the UTS format, I liked it. I think it was definitely entertaining. Definitely think it was more entertaining sometimes. I think the cards are definitely an aspect you can get rid of, in my personal opinion. I think it makes it more entertaining. But in terms of a scoring format, I think he might have something, because I think it's more entertaining because it's not as long. I don't think it'll be a part of the tour anytime soon. I think the tennis format is good. I think the only debate tennis is really having right now is whether or not to continue to have 2 out of 3 sets for smaller tournaments and then 3 out of 5 for just majors, or to just go 2 out of 3. What's your opinion on America not producing the talent Europe is for tennis? Jean, I think it reminded me of the next gen. Yes, I do agree. It does remind you of the next gen and trying to create a new format in that way. In terms of Americans, not as many Americans coming out on top, I think that's a very loaded question. Thank you to whoever just asked that, Harriet Harjat. I do apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But I think, in going back to the question, I think the question was, it's a very big question to unpack, because America does have a lot of talent and has produced. There's no doubting that. I think when it comes to top 50 in men's and women's side, there are a lot more American men and women that are on tour now. And I think it's hard, because I think there are a lot of Americans that are being produced out here on tours. But when it comes to why do I think they're not winning Grand Slams, I think, one, personally, I think Americans should train on red clay. That's just my own opinion. I grew up on red clay, and I thought it made me a better player. I definitely think it's one way for players to create shots and be more. Yeah, it allows them to create more shots and think through a point rather than just hitting hard from one side to another. It allows a player to construct a point, and then once they learn the tactics and understand how they can create points and play better and develop a strategy with more tactics, I think that will translate onto the hard court. A lot of players, I think Americans definitely need to reevaluate how they can build them up from a junior level, I would say. Look at Coco Gauff. I think Coco Gauff is the biggest example right now. Hi to everyone that just joined the live stream. I really appreciate you guys joining in. We're currently watching the Credit One Invitational, Team Peace versus Team Kindness, Anisimova versus Danielle Collins. But I like taking your questions as well. So feel free, if you're new to our YouTube channel, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. I really appreciate it, guys. I was just answering the question, why hasn't Americans produced as many top talents as Europe has? And I genuinely think it comes down to playing on clay. I think Coco Gauff, like I was just saying, Coco Gauff is the biggest example right now. Nice drop shot from Danielle Collins, by the way, side note. Because Coco Gauff has been training in Europe with Patrick Mouratoglou, and they've been playing on red clay. And I think she's been doing a great job of that. And definitely Alex Kuznetsov. Why does that name sound so familiar? Anisimova's coach. But I think from that, like, training on clay allows you to develop better skills as a tennis player. It also allows you to develop tactically. But I don't know. It's such a weird thing to ask of why Americans haven't produced that next player. I mean, sometimes I think it can be discouraging after you go from such an American-dominated sport to all of a sudden it's dominated by Europeans. But that is a terrible drop shot. What the heck was that? That was like the worst drop shot I've ever seen hit by Danielle Collins. It reminded me of the next gen. In some ways, you have players like Isner, Query, Roddick, etc. struggled on clay. Yeah, 100%. When it comes to the question was, can Sampras be on the list of players struggling on clay? Oh, 100%. That's why Roger and Sampras were the same way. They were never really good clay court players because the way they played was never the best. Danielle Collins needs to stop drop shotting. Oh my God, that was terrible. That was terrible. They're on serve right now in the second set. Anisimova 40-15, 3-4, 7-5 her. Yeah, but I think players like Query, Roddick, Roddick, you saw he was a big ground stroke player and big server, so grass fit him really well. Query, same thing. Best result was, I think, the semifinals at Wimbledon. And Isner, same thing, got really far at Wimbledon in hard courts because all he had was a big serve and a forehand. Yeah, Tommy Paul, definitely. Tommy Paul, loved the guy. Definitely going to be a top talent. I think this year was probably going to be a great momentum this year as well. Roger's ability to still hit fly is the new. Yeah, I agree. Harjat or Harriet. I'm so sorry. I can't pronounce your name. Roger is good on clay. Don't get me wrong. Roger is good on clay, but there are, not a derogatory word, but a nickname that people call players that only play on clay, the dirt rats, that play better than Roger. It's because they grow up on it and they feel more comfortable on it, and they just try to stay on that surface when they play on tour. Yeah, Beatles, I definitely agree when it comes to that. Who is better on clay, Roger or Novak? Novak. I hate to say it, but Novak. His return game on clay and the ability to attack, and you ask any player on tour, they wish they had Novak's return game. And on a slower surface like clay, it's so much easier to take advantage of that backhand or forehand that he always hits first. That first ball he's able to create, oh my God, it's so good. Collins and Anisimova, best two ball strikers right now. There's Sophia Kenin. Best ball strikers right now. I would say Anisimova definitely is a better ball striker than Danielle Collins as of right now, personally. I think Anisimova sometimes struggles to get low, but then again, she is one of the taller players on tour, being 5'11". Nah, please bring on the random questions. I like answering these. That's why I wanted to do a live stream today. Yeah, Novak's defensive capabilities is probably the best on tour, 100%. Financial struggles on the Challenger Tour, all the money trickles down from somewhere, and I think we saw a lot of what was going on. A lot of the trouble was Monica Puig. Do you think if I asked her out, she would go on a date with me? No, but listen, what was I saying? I got so distracted. Financial struggles, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into the sport, and tennis, I think, is one of the biggest individual sports besides golf. I have 10 viewers right now. Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. Welcome to the live stream. There's a lot of individuals that play this sport, and there's a lot of struggles that go into it, especially financially, because you have so many players, and it starts from the top. So it's a very tough question. I reached out to, I've done a couple videos on the financial issues that's going on. One of the most recent ones that I did was with Gil Gross from Monday Match Analysis. We talked about why the US Open was so important, because they bring in so much money for the Challenger Tours in the United States and for the USTA. So it starts with that. So it starts with the federation that the tournaments are being held in. And after that, it becomes more of how you can spread. Wow, my stream just went blurry. That's fun. I think it trickles down, and for Challenger players, it comes down to a lot of factors: sponsors, players, ticket sales. It's very hard to see why players in golf, I compare it to golf because it's an individual sport as well, because there's different tours in golf as well, like the web.com tour and stuff like that, but they can survive because they have a lot of money that goes into it. Players can get big sponsors that pay them a lot, and they can wear it on their clothes. WTA and ATP do not allow players of any sort to wear sponsors on their clothes, except for maybe like small patches here, and none on the chest. So I think that's one of the opportunities that they're missing out on, especially as an individual. Like golfers always wear patches and sponsors around every one of theirs. So there's a multitude of factors. I definitely didn't answer your question. I just went on a ramble, but I hope it answered it in somewhat fashion. How do you rate teams' chances of winning a slam when tennis resumes? High. He's probably the front runner. We've been saying this for years, but he's the front runner for the next French Open title. Maybe even US Open or Australian. I don't see him winning Wimbledon in my mind. Yeah, some of it is such an easy power, especially with her backhand. She's right in the position, kind of similar to Yastremska, also an excellent, exciting talent. Yeah. Roger retiring, never. I hope not. Tennis would lose a lot of viewerships. Svitolina is also a sneaky player that could possibly win a slam as well. She's been close. She won the WTA finals, so she's definitely up there as well. Anisimova, oh my God, please don't have a rain delay here. Please, 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 please don't. A lot of clouds forming around the stadium right now. Anisimova serving for the match right now. Up next is Mattek-Sands and Puig. Anisimova uses a Babolat racket, which is the lightest racket on tour, but also one of the stiffest. So I also think that has a little bit to do with it. It's a very interesting racket to use. Stop. Oh my God, what a drop shot. Okay, maybe Danielle Collins has a point of drop shot against Anisimova. Jeez. Yeah, Roger should never retire. It also comes from a marketing standpoint. The more I've got into this, Beatles, the more I've gotten into this, the more I've realized how much tennis relies on Novak, Roger, Rafa, and Serena. Because as soon as those guys retired, they haven't publicized anyone else. So for them to retire, tennis is probably going to go downhill a little bit from a marketing standpoint, which I'm terrified to see. Arja, are you talking about team? And yeah, Svitolina is more of a counterpuncher, slash slash good mover. So she's always had the ability. She's not one of the most offensive players. She is offensive, but in terms of her strengths, it definitely isn't. True. I like using the word inconsistent. You know who doesn't have a great serve? Zverev. That's someone who doesn't have a great serve. That's in. Is that in or out? This could be the match. Dude, put your mask back on. Anisimova wins 7-5, 6-4. Woohoo! Nick, yeah, he could probably win a major if he put his mind to it. Yeah, and Zverev memes, they just don't stop. Have you seen the latest one with Djokovic, like spreading the coronavirus every time he does his end of the match celebration? Hysterical. All right, Team Peace and Team Kindness tied 2-2. Up next, Bethanie Mattek-Sands and Monica Puig. Nick can win a major. He doesn't want to. He says he doesn't want to, too. That's the biggest issue with that. Yeah, 100%. Where's my stream title stuff? Because I'm going to have to change it now that we're pop-out chat. No, I don't want that. That was stupid. No, Andy can't make a comeback and win something. I think he's even said that he doesn't want to come back either. Because it's not against him. Oh, they're winning. Oh, because it's day 2, it's worth 2 points, so they're up 3-2. So Team Kindness is leading Team Peace 3-2. I don't think Andy Roddick could win. I mean, he could try. But after being out for so long and seeing everyone else training like this, it's going to be a very different tour than once he retired. That would be interesting. Imagine if he won in his home court, like won the Australian Open. Roddick was declining after 2010. Yeah, he was declining, but he was always still a good player. I would want to see him coach, to be honest. He definitely won't, but I definitely would like to see him coach a player. Also, he declined because of his shoulder. His serve couldn't take that weird motion. Imagine serving like that all the time. God, that would hurt. Snack. Peanut butter filled pretzels. Great snack. All right. Let's see how I can change this. He could coach Fritz. I could see him. If you guys were to pick one American that was going to win a Grand Slam, who would it be? My question to you guys. Really? That'd be sick. Honestly, it's probably like 50-50. 50% talent, 50% metal when it comes to winning a major. And Tommy's such a character. Beatles, did you see my interview with him? I did an interview with Tommy Paul in Delray last year. Really? Okay, I like these answers. Also, chat, how do I change my stream title? Does anyone know how to do that? Hold on, I'm going to mute myself to listen to her interview. That way I don't get copy strike. I think she answered. She finished the interview the same way I would talk to like a relative that I haven't talked to in a while. Thanks, bye. Just kind of like that. Let it go. David, whose game is boring to watch? Tommy's? Oh, what do you see in Opelka? Excuse me, I didn't see that earlier. Also, okay, I'll answer your question first, David. Yes, Opelka's game is kind of like Isner's. Big serve, big forehand. Easy. It's like when I watched them play in Atlanta last year, I remember I texted my dad, Daddy, watching this match? And he goes, this is more boring than watching paint dry on a wall. So I was like, tough. But do you know what's ironic in that statement, David? I interviewed his coach that's coming out on Monday. So stay tuned. Nakashima's going to be really good, trust me. Interviewed him as well. And Harjot, Harriet, please tell me how to pronounce your name. I feel so bad. That would be interesting to see how hard tennis gets hit when it comes to the big three retiring. Don't forget Serena, too. Like, once Serena and Venus retire, will it just be Coco Gauff? That's my question. Osaka, you're right. Osaka, Coco Gauff. Really, you don't think so? Women's tour won't be affected because I think you see a flux. Beatles, play nice. There's a lot of talent, and it fluctuates. Did Monica Puig change rackets? Oh, wow, she did. The women's tour I think, has more depth for players to compete because over the last couple of years, we haven't seen consistent Grand Slam winners besides Osaka. Barty, Kenin. Who won the U.S. Open last year? Why am I blanking on this? Who won the U.S. Open last year for the women? Crap. Thank you, Andrescu. God, why did I blank on that so hard? So you can see the amount of depth on it. And believe me, there's a lot of depth in the men too. But a guy besides Novak, Roger, and Rafa hasn't won a major since, I think, Wawrinka in 2014. Her joked. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. Well, what do you think all the Serena fans on Twitter are going to root for after Serena retires? Wow, Puig really changed rackets from Yonex VCore 98 to Head Prestige. Wonder why. But she's still... What? What? Okay, tell me why a player is fully decked out in Yonex gear and then uses a head racket. Someone explain that to me. Yeah, Gene, you're probably right. I need to change. Yeah. I don't think it's more about their game, Herjat. I think it's more about personality and showing it because everyone's games are fun to watch. There's not a player on tour that's terrible. They're ranked for a reason. They're all top 100. Gene, what? What was I going to say? It's more about Herjat. It's more about their personality rather than what's going on than their game. Because their games are fun. Some games are really fun to watch, but then sometimes it's just their personality afterwards. Herjat. Coco is 16. Gene, get your head out of the clouds, please. How the heck? Yes, Gene, that's much better. That's a much better and appropriate comment. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why you need outspoken personalities. Why do you think Medvedev grew such a popularity at in New York because of him flipping off the crowd and stuff like that, and that behavior? Because people like that New York toughness and gruff. You know what I mean? Because that's different than doing something off the court. Yeah, everyone has a different personality, but what's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you joining me. Currently watching let's see, stream, manage. How do I manage this? Send feedback. No. I want to change. I want to change. I want to change. Oh, that's cool. I miss Medvedev too. So much fun watching. Like, watching him is fun. Thank you. I got 1, 2, 3. Can you see all 4? Yeah, I have 4 towels right now. And I have a Delray Beach one, but I didn't hang it up in my room. It's too big. We got Western Southern 2017, 2019 Roland Garros 2019 U.S. Open, and then Rogers Cup 2019 there. And then all my credentials from the places I've been, which are gained quite a bit, which I'm very appreciative of. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, I don't know why I'm worrying about this. I just want to change my thumbnail. Up next, we got Monica Puig versus Bethanie Mattek-Sands. To be honest, I don't think I've watched Bethanie Mattek-Sands play singles since she ruptured her knee at Wimbledon. Also, thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're in my stream and you've never been here before, hey, welcome to the stream. My name's Phil. This is where we talk about tennis in a more casual way for you guys to understand what's going on. And make sure to hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. I really appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, her shot. Maj, there's no way Novak should leave his house this year. After what transpired, there's no way he should leave his house. That was chaos, irresponsible, and idiotic. He shouldn't leave his house. Yeah, but for a guy that's 6'6" and can move like that, I think he definitely should definitely like have a successful career though. Thanks, Beatles. I appreciate it. I got a couple new videos coming out soon. Today we just released our video with Temba. Great conversation about coaching and his philosophy and him training with Osaka Keys, all those, and a little bit for golf. He works with Francis too in Florida, so he has a lot of deep connections there. So yeah, that was a fun interview. We just launched that one today. Next week we have, what do we have scheduled next week? Not quite sure what we have scheduled for next week. I'll keep you guys posted. What did Novak do? He ran a tournament that shouldn't have happened. And Maj, thanks, Maj. The Jeopardy was fun. I think I might be doing another one of those soon. If you meant the U.S. Open, from what he did, it's going to be tough. Not following rules, people gave Dimitrov COVID. His dad came out and said that Dimitrov is a disgrace and ruined the relationship between Serbia and Croatia. That man should just keep his mouth shut. Wow, that was dumb. Yeah, but if he can play like that, Gene, he definitely has more power than Schwartzman. That's what I think helps him. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Feel free to ask any questions and type whatever you want. Just keep it civilized, please. What else do we got? I need your guys' opinion. What did you guys think of the Pictionary one I did with Petros? That was my first time doing it, and I need people's thoughts. Also, Puig and Bethanie Mattek-Sands just started their match. This should be good. Thanks, Beatles. I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. I might be doing another one of those, so I just wanted some feedback from you guys. Thank you for putting an asterisk at the end of that. Yeah, Novak, his whole publicity team is probably panicking right now. Let's just say that. Hershot, that's just how it is, though. You got to use that to an advantage, especially when you play a guy like Diego. Diego's he's a wall, dude. Like, for a person of his height, people don't realize how small Diego might be. But Diego's is a great player. Is a great player. Yeah, people don't really like Novak. People need to understand that. Puig might break Bethanie Mattek-Sands right here already. She's down 15-30. Diego is also one of the fittest people, so his cardio definitely on point right now. Just has to use his height to his advantage and speed. Rafa played very smart tactically against Diego at the US Open last year. Changed pace, like throwing some top speed. Yeah, that's what gets him too. Beatles, they're playing on something called hard true. It's like a mix between, personally, the way I describe it, it's like playing on grass and clay combined. When I asked Burton's last year about it, she said it's the perfect transition to clay court from hard court because you can slide like it's on clay, but it plays more like a hard court. You too, Hershot. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, he's a backboard. That's why he doesn't like it. So when you try to do something tricky, it's hard for him. And he has speed, too, which it gives him an advantage sometimes. Reddit tennis on Reddit, that subreddit, like, destroys me. Every time I try to post something new, they roast me. Let me put it in the chat. I feel like this surface is only in America. Am I wrong? Another break point for Puig. Yeah, it's hard true. When you said hard, I was like, is it hard true? No, it's hard true. Yeah, that's weird. I feel like it's only in the US. This is what clay is. This is what people consider clay in the United States. It's very annoying because this is not real clay at all. Nope. I could never imagine myself playing in high socks like that. It's like playing in soccer socks. That was a great shot. I think Bethanie Mattek-Sands could win this if she plays consistent and uses her versatility to her advantage. My best tennis match? My best tennis match. Wow, that's a great question. I've never. It's hard because I really usually don't talk about my own tennis. My best tennis match probably. I was like 14 or 15 years old. Played a 3-setter, 3-hour match. I lost, but it was probably one of the best matches I came out of thinking I played well. I don't know. Played when I was in college. I played a lot of good matches for doubles that I thought I played really well for. That's one. We were playing. So I played club tennis in college. That's not NCAA college. Like that's not like the Division I level. It's just the club. But I remember we were at an away tournament, and you can make substitutions. Like we play World Team Tennis format, but you can make a substitution if someone's not playing well. I remember our player was down 1-5, and I was talking to everyone. And this is, I think, my senior year or junior year, and we were talking about, okay, what do we do? What do we do? And I substituted for him. I came back from 15-30, 1-5 that he was down, and I won 6-5 in a tiebreaker. That was probably one of my best matches that I came back from. I was super pumped about it. BMS. Oh, Bethanie Mattek-Sands. Okay. Top five matches that I watched. Live or on TV, Gene? Thank you, Maj. What do you think you can see better in pro games as a person who played versus non-players? What do you mean by that, David? Maybe I'm just reading that wrong. What do you think you can see better in pro games as a person who played versus non? Oh, I get it, David. Wow, this game's still going on. It's deuce in the first game. Jeez. For me, I think from a technical standpoint and tactically, you can see better, or just technique-wise, you can see why they play a certain way or why they hit a certain pattern on the court. Because I think as someone who played competitively, you understand why they're trying to play that way and how they're going to play the match versus someone who goes into a match that's maybe not as prepared as a non-player. So, and I think this is seen from, you can ask any non-player too, some of the shots that they would hit, people are astonished by, but it's sometimes just like a routine type of shot for you. It's still a great shot, no matter what, but I think it's you'll see a shot of you don't realize how hard that shot was to create a drop shot in that scenario from that low, from that high. The creativity that some players can pull out of that some people might think are easy that are actually so difficult. I think that's one of the things as a player you can see versus a non-player, both live and on TV. I think live, probably Shapovalov versus Seppi, a 5-setter when I was an usher at the U.S. Open in 2018. That was an unbelievable match to watch live. Well, watch, I meant be a part of, since that was my court that I was watching. On TV, probably one of the Wimbledon finals with Roddick and Federer. Ultimate Tennis Showdown has some ups and downs. I think it has a really great concept of trying to entertain people more, which is what tennis needs. I hope I answered your question, David, properly. What do you think about UTS? UTS, fast pace. I like the format of trying to hurry it up to not make it as slow. But personally, I think tennis format is fine. I think earlier I said the only question of format is whether or not slam should be 2 out of 3 for men instead of 3 out of 5. I still think it should be 3 out of 5. But I like the vision that he was creating for UTS with all these players. Like, the personality aspect of it is great. There definitely are a multitude of personalities that need to be showed more in tennis, and that's hard to do. The dead time reference, I don't remember him talking about that, so that's probably... So if you could elaborate on that more in terms of dead time. But from what I can try to understand from that is the amount of dead time in between points and between sets. Yeah, that definitely needs to go faster. It also comes down to sponsorships, and when you watch a Grand Slam, it's like you'll miss like the first 2 points because they're still playing commercials. I think one thing that golf does really well with commercial time is that they'll do a split screen of watching players play and having commercials going on the other side of the screen, which I think is what's needed, because that way you're not wasting time, especially if there's a coaching timeout and you want to listen and see what they're talking about. That would be very beneficial. You know what I mean? Yeah, that, like, people don't understand how many good players Puig like killed and played well against. Kerber, Muguruza, Pavlyuchenkova, Hercog for the first round too. Like, stacked field. Yeah. Okay, so somehow Mattek-Sands is currently winning. Not somehow, but she's currently winning 1-love, 30-love up while Puig is serving. Also, I just got Puig's shoes, I think, for the men's size. Need to try those out. Also trying to get Kyrgios's New York Kyrie shoe. That should be really fun to do an unboxing for you guys. Maj, men or women? Yeah, but if Serena wins the U.S. Open this year, I'm going to put an asterisk next to it. Would you? Most underrated player in the men's? Hold on, let me look at rankings. Let me look at the rankings, guys. Hold on, because I need the list in front of me. I think Hercats from Poland is definitely an underrated player for the men. Jan-Lennard Struff, too, is just a seed killer when it comes to any tournament. Nishioka, too, underrated, I think, sometimes. Lundero as well. Ymir. I could go on. Women's. Yeah, he has the best, one of the most classic backends. Yes, for sure, Rybakina. 100%. Also put Yastremska next to that name, please. I also think Kontaveit is a little bit... Muhova. Muhova under... Yeah, Hercats for Poland. Muhova as well for the women. I'm looking else at the names. Ons Jabeur is ranked inside the top 40. Let's go. Fiona Ferro's solid as well. Kazakina dropped off so much. Wow. Paulini's top 100 shit. Kozlova. Like, the women's field is very deep. His forehand is very interesting to me for Gasquet. Also, Mattek-Sands might have a 6-0 set here. She's up 30-15 to love. Beatles, what did you just retract? Yeah, she's doing some really creative stuff. She's currently, I don't know if it was yesterday or sometime this week, she's on the Barcelona IG page talking to them. That should be a lot of fun to watch. I quizzed her on her Barcelona knowledge. Risk is also very good. Very flat for shots, in my opinion. She's also underrated, yep. Atlanta Open tennis? What the hell? Because they don't work on them. Singles players don't go into a tournament saying, I'm going to work on my volleys, because their strategy is not to serve and volley. That's something that's lost in tennis right now, unless you're a doubles player. Nick Kontaveit, yes, also very underrated sometimes. But all these players that I've been mentioning are in the top 30, but they don't go far. But they're definitely a threat to any top 10 player in the women's tour. That's funny. Who's DMing me? Let's see. Let the Instagram folks know that we're live. ATP a little, but WTA, they know nothing. Even Serena hits some crap volleys. Did I connect it? I think I did. Wow, shocking. Wow. Thanks, Gene. I love my laugh. She does. I'll give you that. But she has a bigger serve. Yeah, it just takes them a little bit. Okay, they're back on serve, too, for Puig and Mattek-Sands. I'm probably going to leave. Probably going to have to end this live stream probably in, probably the next changeover. But I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Again, if you're new to the stream, I'm Phil. This is where we talk about tennis in any way, shape, or form. Kind of like a tennis stuffs guy, kind of doing everything. If you are new to the channel, Make sure to smack a like on this live stream, as well as making sure you subscribe to Tweenerhead Tennis. Don't miss any new videos. We got 2 coming out next week. We usually upload on Mondays and Wednesdays to keep a schedule. And then if something important happens, like this past week where we've randomly uploaded or live stream, it's very spontaneous. And if you turn on that bell after you subscribe, you'll know when I'm live or post a new video. Gene, I'm from the North Pole. Yeah, Andreescu and Kenin finally realizing that they can win. Like, Andreescu hasn't played a real match since the U.S. Open. Which DM vid? Maj, what DM vid? Oh, with Hunter. Yeah, it was there was a lot of stuff I probably could one probably shouldn't have shown because it's very gruesome. 2, there were definitely other DMs that I saw that were definitely should not be allowed. And 3, the fact that some of the women, I don't know if you guys want me to do one with women because it might be different just in terms of content. But plus, I don't know if some people like doing that. I know Hunter does it because he exposes them publicly all the time. But I don't know. It's a very rare case, so I just wanted to see everyone's reaction. So maybe we can do it again with another player. But I'm trying to do more interactive content, like on the court. I'm thinking about hitting 1,000 forehands in a day, maybe 1,000 backhands. But then again, I don't know how my body's going to go because I'm going to start teaching again. So I have a lot of ideas coming for you guys. I really want to make sure that this is a channel that you guys can always come to, have fun, watch, and enjoy, learn, whatever when it comes to tennis. There's not one particular thing that I like to do unless it does well. But I like to do a lot of things. That was a Puig. That was a bad forehand. Mattek-Sands up a break after Puig breaking back earlier, and Sands is up 3-1. It's not their number, it's their Instagram page. So if their page is public, anyone can send them DMs. And for DMs, usually if they're not already friends or they didn't respond to their DM earlier, it's usually in their requested section. And when people go look for it, what's up, bruh? They can go into their DMs and look. So it's very disturbing. My account's not on private. My Tweenerhead account is not on private. My personal one is. I don't like sharing my public account. I mean my private account, excuse me. Mattek-Sands up 15, love 3-1. Puig is not playing well right now. Also, Puig is one of the nicest players. If you ever interacted with her, even from a fan standpoint, she is so much fun. Yes, unfortunately, the U.S. Open is still going on, even though I do not believe it should. Also, other news. U.S. Open wheelchair tennis is coming back as well. They just made that announcement. It's happening the 10th to the 13th, which is really good that they acknowledged that, and it should have happened in the first place. But yeah, that was a huge discrimination against for able-bodied people to make that decision for people in wheelchairs. But I think that's about it when it comes to the stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, make sure you leave a like on this video, as well as making sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. And I thank all of you guys, Madge, Gene, Ram, David, anyone that was here. Thank you guys so much for interacting with me. Last question, how mental is tennis? 50-50, honestly, if you really want to be good, because you really need a good mental state. I don't think they did either, but from what Dylan was saying, the number one, Dylan Alcott from Australia, it seemed like they didn't acknowledge them at all, and it just seems very bad from that standpoint. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream again. I really appreciate you all joining me and me watching this Credit One Bank Invitational. I hope to see you guys again for my next live stream, and I hope you guys enjoy the content I post here. If you want to follow us on all our social medias, all the links are down in the description below or on my YouTube channel. So make sure to go check it out, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. See you soon. Take care. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wash your hands.